And our fourth main topic today gets submitted to us by Stephen Calderon, who writes, I saw Godzilla vs. Kong in theaters on Saturday. Loved it. The film delivered a record opening during the pandemic with $48.5 million in the first 5 days. This is a great sign for the box office. Do you think this means more people saw this film in theaters rather than sitting at home to watch it on HBO Max? All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Steve. And yeah, of course, for the last while, we've been talking about Godzilla vs. Kong. I went to go see this damn thing in a movie theater, the way it's meant to be seen. I had a great time. Is the storyline the best? Absolutely not. Are the human characters great? Absolutely not. Actually, half of the human characters didn't even need to be in the movie. But this movie delivered. It was exactly what we needed. It was this big screen, big spectacle, Godzilla fighting Kong. Multiple battles, by the way, multiple battles, which, you know, you could kind of get a sense from because in the trailers, you see them fighting in the city, you see them fighting on an aircraft carrier. So it ain't just one Godzilla versus Kong fight. It's multiple fights. Plus we see them fighting other monsters at the same time. And it was great. And I don't care what anybody says. I like the little girl in this movie. I like the little girl in this movie. I could do without a lot of the other human characters, but I thought it was wonderful. Anyway, we talked last week about this incredible opening that it had of like $9-something million on its opening day. It just wrapped up its first 5 days after the weekend. The official weekend number is about 38-point-something million dollars. Its first 5-day opening is $48.5 million. $48.5 million. Let's put this into perspective, shall we? Godzilla King of the Monsters, with no pandemic, with no limited seating in theaters, and with no free option to watch on TV in your little hobbit hole on your television, with none of that, the 5-day opening for Godzilla King of the Monsters was $56 million. And that's not bad. I mean, they were hoping for better for that movie, but that's not a bad opening. With no watching at home option, with no pandemic, and no limited capacity theater seating. 5-day, $56 million. Godzilla vs. Kong, where people had the option to just sit at home and watch it if they wanted to. Where there are people still really nervous about going out to theaters, understandably. There are people still nervous about going back to theaters because of the pandemic. And even if they wanted to go to the theaters, a lot of people, I've got friends of mine, Rob, weren't able to see it this weekend because when they were free to go see it, the show times were sold out because of limited capacity. And it made like less than $8 million difference. Now, this is not a great sign for Godzilla vs. Kong, nor is it a bad sign for Godzilla King of the Monsters. What this image right here, I think what this tells us is that people are excited to go to the movies again. People are excited. And Rob, let's not pretend like Godzilla vs. Kong is Avengers Endgame. Let's not pretend like Kong Skull Island or Godzilla King of the Monsters were any like big monstrous box office hits.
Right.
This is Godzilla vs. Kong. This, to me, more than anything else, definitively ends the argument that, do you think people are just dying to get back to the theater? I think so. I think people are dying to go back. It's going to be really interesting to see once some of these others start opening up. And by the way, nobody's talking about Nobody, but Nobody didn't do bad for a little low-budget indie little action film. And by the way, that movie is fantastic. If you haven't seen Nobody yet, go see Nobody. But Rob, I think these results for Godzilla vs. Kong do two things. I think they're incredibly encouraging for the studios. And I'm not going to lie, Rob. I think today there are discussions going on right now in the corporate hallways of Disney about going back and changing their mind on how they're going to release Black Widow. I'm not saying they're going to not do the $30 premium release. I'm not saying they're not going to do that, but I guarantee you right now at Disney, they're having discussions. They're at least sitting down and going, guys, mother effing Kong versus Godzilla just about made $50 million in its first 5 days. And by the way, you know how much it made for premium video on demand? $3 million in premium video on demand. $3 million. It's made, Rob, $286 million worldwide already. $286 million worldwide already. I guarantee that Bob Iger and Bob Chapek are on the phone, maybe with Alan Horn and a couple, and obviously they're going to loop in Kevin Feige into this and say, look, and we sort of were nervous about the environment, so we said we're going to do Black Widow with premium on demand and theaters. Should we just go straight to theaters? And again, I don't know if they're going to do that, but I think the discussions are happening. Rob, I also think this is incredibly encouraging for the theater industry to see like our first real big film, and not even monster blockbuster, no pun intended, not even a monstrously big blockbuster film, but the first big film to come out. You know, there are vaccinations happening. Are people feeling comfortable? Are we back to 2019 levels? No way. We got a long way to go for that. But this has got to be encouraging for the studios and for the theatrical industry at the same time. And I tell you who else, Rob, it is encouraging for people like us, movie theater goers, to get back in the movie theater. I watched Nobody. I watched Godzilla versus Kong. It was so much fun, and it's so good to see so many people want to go back and watch it as well. Anyway, Rob, you know, you had a chance to watch the movie itself, but really focusing on the box office results. What do you think about these results, and what do you think the implications of this kind of success could be?
Well, clearly, people want to go back to the theaters. They want that communal experience, and I think they looked at this. Everyone knew this it's a ridiculous kaiju film and all that, but what fun. Like, this movie promised people fun. Seemingly it delivered. A lot of people went to the theaters. AMC stock is up this morning, John. I think that this shows that people want, I mean, going to the movies is a luxurious pleasure that we've had. Even during the Great Depression, when people were so poor, they would go to the movies and make themselves feel better. Movies are a thing that promise a good time, and to have those taken away from our society, it's that was a bad thing. And I think that having movies come back, it's sort of a respite from the real world, and it people want that. They want to go back, and I think you're right. I think they're probably talking at Disney going, look, you know, 300 million, this movie could top out. It might make another 200 million worldwide, depending, because there's not a lot of competition. And if this movie, during a pandemic still, when not everyone's been vaccinated, if this could top out at $500 million, that's a lot of money. And that adds that value that a theatrical release gives to a film. And I think it's really important. And I think that these are really good numbers this movie put up, especially considering where we're at right now. I mean, imagine if we weren't in a pandemic. This might have shattered all the MonsterVerse box office records or the numbers of the last three films. This could have been, this could have made $100 million. So, you know, if they, obviously we're not getting Black Widow until July, but that's 2 months, 2 more months. Oh, actually it's 2.5 more, almost 3 months until it opens. So the world could be even in better shape then. More people vaccinated, more people going to the theaters. So it could be a big deal. I think, all in all, this is pretty much a win for everyone. And I think as far as Black Widow is concerned, it bodes well for its theatrical numbers. I mean, I wouldn't, right now, knowing what I know, I wouldn't put it up on Disney Plus yet. I'd make it go theatrical only.
And then put it up on Disney Plus later and get the benefits of both worlds. Here's an interesting thing. Now, there are so many asterisks you have to put beside this fact I'm about to mention. Many, 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 many asterisks. This is just a great, interesting factoid anecdotally. So let's look back for a couple of different Warner Brothers projects: Godzilla versus Kong and Wonder Woman 1984. Wonder Woman 1984, they said in its first week, had 2.2 million views. 2.2 million views on HBO Max. Okay. Godzilla versus Kong. We'll take the international numbers out of it, and we'll just look at the North American numbers in its 5-day at 48.5. With a national average ticket price of $10, that includes the prime time screenings and the low, cheap matinee screenings and everything. The average ticket price in the United States is hovering around $10. That, Rob, means 4.8 million people went to go to the theater to go see this. And that's not counting the rest of the world. That's only counting the North American box office. 4.8 million people went out to go see this thing, while just the ability to sit at home and watch it, 2.2 watched Wonder Woman 1984. I don't think that says anything great about Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't think that says anything negative about Wonder Woman 84. I think that just, again, kind of anecdotally kind of points to people love the movie going experience. And I think that speaks to that. And so, I don't know, Rob, we've got other films upcoming. Now, Godzilla vs. Kong was really the first out of the gate here. I mean, yes, Ryan the Last Dragon, and yes, a while ago there was Tenet, but this is really, with the people starting to get vaccinations, this was the first one out of the gate. Do you think this is an indicator of how things are going to be? Or do you think, being the first one out of the gate, Godzilla vs. Kong had a little bit of that extra advantage that people were just dying to get back? I don't know. What do you think we can now expect from other theatrical releases in the next 3, 4, 5 months?
Well, I think, look, there's a lot of, not everybody even loves giant monster movies. That's something that doesn't necessarily appeal to everyone. I think this is an indicator. It's sort of a bellwether as to all big budget films. I mean, we got some really good stuff coming into theaters, whether it's Black Widow, whether it's Fast and Furious, whether it's Dune. There's a lot of really high ticket marquee items that are coming our way theatrically. And I think this really does bode well that people are going to want to see these event pictures that at least deliver. I mean, this movie isn't even like high art. People are like, I just want to see the monster fights, and they went and people seem to be enjoying it, and it plays well on the big screen and big and loud and puts a smile on your face. And I think that, look, I can't wait. I mean, I didn't go to the theater and I was bummed out I didn't go. I get my vaccination a week from tomorrow. So
good on you. Good.
Yeah, I can't wait to go, I guess, risk-free, or as risk-free as you can be, into a theater and see a film. Because John, I haven't been to a movie theater in almost 14 months. I can't believe that.
Yeah, I'm getting my second shot. I'm getting my second vaccination in 2 weeks. The Pfizer, I got the Pfizer variant of it. And so Anna and I are actually talking about maybe taking a trip to Vegas because she gets her third shot the same day, or her second shot the same day I do. So anyway, guys, question is for you. Godzilla versus Kong. Remember, keep this in mind. About a month or so ago, they were estimating 20 to 25 million for the first 5 days. It's come close to 50. It's going to cross 300. Rob, you were pointing this out earlier. It's going to cross 300 million worldwide today. Today, it's going to cross 300 million worldwide. Incredible success. What do you think the ramifications of this? What messages can we take from this kind of success, if any? What do you guys think about this? Jump on down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys.